Hi everyone, Jacqueline Vasquez, CEO of Weddings Beautiful Worldwide. Thank you for joining us today on another webinar episode of Elevate Your Brand with Weddings Beautiful Worldwide. Today we're excited to be sharing a conversation in a three-part series that we had with one of our graduates and member, Janel Bailey Keene. She is the CEO and founder of Vivid Expressions. The conversation will entail everything from her journey, from training to her journey and setting her foundation to where she is today. So tune in and we hope that you're able to take away some important features that can help you in your business.
What was that pivotal moment that
Oh my
made you
gosh.
switch from
It,
planning design a little bit to design more?
I think there was just, I was in this midst of doing these full service events, which I loved, but I
Hmm.
also felt myself, burning out almost because I tried to do so much. And I don't know if there was one pivotal event or one pivotal moment, but I really thought that if I could just really do more of the design element of it,
Hmm.
because that made me happy, and
Okay.
that's a skill that I
So that's
really,
one thing.
yeah,
Finding your happy moment,
yeah, it was my
right?
happy moment. It's like, I kind of, I thought to my, I sat down, I'm thinking to myself, it's not that I don't love every moment of, seeing the dream come to fruition for the client. I love every moment of it. I love, I'm the one in the corner with the little camera recording, the father daughter dance, and like, oh, look how that kind of sort of thing.
Mhm.
I love that, but at the same time, I feel like when I've helped this couple take this idea, this abstract idea of
Right.
what their environment's going to look like, and then I sketch it out,
Hmm.
and then I present it to them, and they just either love it or they're like, oh, that's great, but you know what, now that I see it, let me tweak it a little bit.
Got it.
And now we make these little changes, and then the day of, and they walk in the room
Like,
and they see the full
wow.
transformation, and their mouths are open, and the groom's grabbing me and hugging me. It's like, oh, I can't breathe, you
They're
know
like, what? You really
yeah,
did this?
yeah, exactly. So I think I think everybody should really think about what part of the process brings you the most joy
Hmm.
and makes you feel like you're the most of service. And for me, it was the designer element felt
Mm.
more in tune to what I was
To,
brought here to do. You know what I'm
to you.
saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many years did it take?
It literally, I think I started transitioning from that. Well, I'll tell you what, right around two, 2008, 2009, I took a floral design class because I wanted to just, I wanted to, continue to learn, continue to grow,
Hmm.
continue to try different things.
Yeah.
And I took a floral design class, and that was like, wow, wow, okay, I could do this. And started offering the flowers as part
Hmm.
of the service. And then 2009, I started doing that more. I think by 2010 is when I started to kind of get that itch.
Mm.
But I don't think I really started transitioning it out fully until 2015. And that's when I started to really kind of turn everything towards, all right, let me do a little bit more of this than that. And, fast forward, here it is, 2021. And, the majority of what I do is the design consulting and
Got
the core, and working with the vendors, and working with other folks, and working with
it.
other planners sometimes. And yes, I do offer them the option of having me do day of,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I'd rather just bring in somebody for that, or refer somebody for that,
Got it.
because that way I'm knee deep, and I'm elbow deep in petals, and I'm happy.
I understand, and I'm glad. And I asked you, how long it took for your transition because I transitioned as well from
Mhm.
exactly what you shared. When you first start, you want to do everything, you want to learn
Mhm.
everything. And I was in that mode of learning, educating myself more, learning more of this and learning more of that, and setting up and all that. And I believe my transition was more towards midway as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm. Mhm.
where I was like, I was really the happiest. Not like you said, not that I didn't like everything else, like the design piece and all of that. I still have some of those pieces included,
Mhm.
but what I had a passion for, what really makes me happy is logistics. Like that
Yes.
is my jam. Like
Yes.
timeline, all of that, logistics, problem solving, all of
Yes.
those different things, really, really just took it to a different level for me,
Yes.
that I was like, okay, now it's time, all these relationships that I've built, to build partnerships,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
For the florals, for the design. What I do offer my clients for full service is basically I will work with you on design ideas and
Mhm.
concepts,
Mhm.
so that we can have a founding, a starting point for the designer, for the floral
Exactly.
designer, for the event designer, so that at least you have a starting point with that, right?
Exactly.
And then I have multiple relationships on different levels, right? On price points and things like that, so that I can offer the best services for my clients. So I'm able to engage with and grow, and like you said, grow with my partners, with my colleagues, and see all the amazing things they do, and let me do all of the other running around that I love to do.
Yep.
So, the transition is the part of, okay, we start in this world of magic, what we
Mhm.
feel is magic
Yes.
and excitement, and that Jennifer Lopez movie, right? And that she makes everything seem so
Mhm. Oh
okay,
yeah. That's just the
better,
movies.
the small pieces that were um like iffy moments for that particular movie is
Mhm.
was like lightweight compared to what we really do, right?
Oh
So
yes.
it's a whole different world. And
Mhm.
for me, it was about, understanding the world
Mhm.
of the industry, weddings and social events and corporate,
Mhm.
because we have a similar story. When I started doing more of the events, it started with the corporate world that I was working at, doing holiday parties. Oh yeah, sure, I can do, weddings. Somebody asked me, it's like, oh, my son is getting married. Okay, great. And it's like, wow, there's a lot of different
Mhm.
pieces here. So,
Yep.
you walk in with this, I want to do everything. And
Mhm.
we're here to say that's okay.
Mhm.
But along the way, allow yourself to really understand what you love the most, because that's when you give the most value to your clients. They get the
Exactly.
best of you, and then you're able to like partner with so many other amazing people and bring the best team around. Where are you right now?
Well, right now, I'm actually where I want to be. I'm literally where I want to be. I have great relationships with all the vendors that I've worked with before, and and it's a matter of having having those great relationships. And I never and it's been hard to do over the last year or so.
Yes.
But I always say never underestimate the power of a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Contacting a venue and saying, "Hey, I love to talk with you sometime. I have some ideas, or I want to catch up," and then really making sure that they are aware of the vision I have for Vivid Expressions moving forward. And I think the key is for you to have a clear vision of where you want to take your particular business,
Exactly.
and and that's something else to maybe yearly go back and review your vision and your mission, and how you maneuver and how you market and how you brand, and most companies do that anyway, so why not you sit down and really think, okay, let me reflect on the vision I have, the big picture. I like to call it the big picture vision
Mm-hmm.
is the mission, and I mean the vision, and your everyday brushstrokes of that painting
Mm-hmm.
is your mission, your everyday mission.
Love it.
So, review that, sit down, review that, and then reach out to to folks and just, have a conversation. I've talked to, when I decided to really kind of push the decor and design and the event design side of things more. I had to let them know, because really a lot of my business was being referred to me from my vendors
Mhm.
and my partnerships, like venues. So sat down, talked, let them know the idea. They gave me good feedback. They told me what they are looking for
Mhm.
and how I can serve them in that way.
Awesome.
And take that feedback and incorporate that, and do that with the rental companies I work with, or other folks that I work with. Just talk to them and have those conversations,
Mhm.
because again, those are the people we're going to be working with. Those are people who are going to be your biggest advocates anyway.
Exactly.
So you get out there and do that. And once I did that, then I was able to kind of hey, here's an updated
Mhm.
brochure, here's an updated link to the website that you can use, and kind of make them part of the transition as well.
Exactly. That's totally amazing. I mean, I totally agree, because that's the way how a business owner, a CEO really should be thinking. We should be thinking like the big wigs and the,
Hmm.
top firms,
Yeah.
the benefits of not just the company, but the everyone around the company, and think about a global perspective,
Yep.
right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to throw you a curveball and say,
Oh
oh,
no.
yes, 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 because we were talking about great things and growth, but has there been any moment throughout those years that you were like, I'm done?
Oh, I'm gonna be completely honest. Absolutely. I started my business in 2006. I've seen a recession. I have
Mhm.
seen I've seen a lot of things happen. We all, I think, if you've been in this business for a while, you see the cycle. There's this big push, this wave of new planners that come along because they help Aunt Sue with their wedding, and now they want to be a wedding planner, but they don't want to actually do any of the
Educational
preparation. Yeah, the preparation and the
preparation,
and the
yes.
education. And they'll come in, and then then they'll fade away, and then you're
Mhm,
still here. So there
mhm.
have been times when it's you had the people out there who come in and they try to undercut, God forbid. But I understand that I'm not at that stage where I
Mhm.
don't have to worry about that. I focus on what I can provide, the value I provide, the relationships I build with both my client and my teams and my colleagues. And you know I know the value I provide, so I don't have to worry about that. But there were some times when it was, like I said, I was in the recession when it hit, and that was hard.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, it was hard.
What
And
about now during the pandemic?
the pandemic has been challenging, but
Mhm.
not as hard. And I think I say that because I've been through tough times.
Got it.
Obviously, not like a pandemic, but we've
So
been
you
through
feel
tough
more
times.
prepared right now. You
Definitely
feel like
feel
your foundation is
way
set.
more prepared. My
Yes.
foundation, and I understand that business works in a cycle.
Mhm.
There's a book, and I can't remember the name of it. Oh gosh, but it talks about the wave that you see in businesses where something happens. Maybe it's the stock market, maybe it's whatever, but something happens that triggers a down cycle in the market. Things get crazy, things get rough, and then you're in this little trough. And
Mhm.
this is where people just they bail. They
Mhm.
bail completely, or they just close down. And if you can make it through this low section, then there is an uptick,
Yes.
which we're in now.
Well, that's where I was just gonna say,
We are
that's where
in.
we're in.
Oh, and by 20, I mean next year, oh my gosh.
Be
Because
prepared, be
be
relaxed
ready. I
enough
mean,
now and
don't
ready.
get ready, because you will not have time to get ready, because the surge is where things are going to go through the roof. And
Mhm.
during that lull, all these couples who were going to get married has postponed. I had a ton of postponed weddings,
Mhm.
which
Same
was
here.
very hard, because
Yes, it is.
that meant no new revenue was coming in.
Mhm.
So that was hard. But then you had all those brides and grooms and couples that postponed then you have people are still getting engaged
Mm-hmm.
during this
Mm-hmm.
time. And, engagement season is upon us now.
Yes.
So when January and February hit, we're going to start to see that surge, and it's going to be out of control because you still have a lot of venues that are still booked from the
Oh, yes.
postponements from last year. So that's going to be
Yes.
insane.
Yes.
It's going to be very interesting. I had more weekday weddings this last 6 months
Mm-hmm.
than I have ever had
Wow.
because they literally didn't have any other time.
Saturdays or Fridays
They're
or
gone.
Sundays.
They were
Yep.
gone. We are reaching the surge. And I think the biggest challenge moving forward is going to be not over, and it's the opposite of not having enough business, but having too much business and not
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to handle saying no, or
That's
double
another.
bookings, or
Yes.
resources.
Yes. Yes.
Like I said, the dates is only there's only for a lot of venues they only do like one or two events
Exactly.
at that venue, and if that date's booked, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
having that, being able to think creatively, think outside the box,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be huge in the upcoming year. Having, being flexible with your resources,
Exactly.
being clear on the vision the client has and how you can create that vision for them.
And
That's going to
execute
be
it.
an
Because I'm
executing it.
sure, and we'll talk about this and a little bit now in another session as well. But I mean, you work with flowers, and you
Hmm.
have I bow down because for florists, for floral designers,
Man,
wow,
this year
like
has been
adding more
out of
weight
control.
was, I mean, for planners as well, it was crazy, but wow,
The
I
demand was insane. And the heartbreak was last year when everything really shut down. I mean, because we nobody had understood what was going on. We had no idea what was going on.
Mhm.
And I think right around March-ish is when everything really shut down.
Yeah.
And we had flowers on order that they had to, like, nope, we can't do that. We can't ship them. And the growers and distributors for the flowers literally
Mhm.
had to throw
Out.
tons of flowers away because they couldn't move them.
Yes.
And then on the opposite side, this past summer and fall, we had the opposite problem where it was so much
Demand was high
demand.
and not so
And I
much
think there was one week or
flow.
two, it was a week or two where there was like a tropical storm or hurricane, something came through and just devastated some areas. And even the growers couldn't send flowers because they didn't have anything to send.
And I think what was it? Hydrangeas were like
Oh,
shortage. I'm like, that's the
oh.
one that gets used the
Everybody wants,
most.
yeah, that's the one
Everybody
push the
wants
big,
hydrangea.
big, the big impact flowers there because you get the big volume. And I heard something else too, that over in Europe, European market was coming to the US to get our flowers because the flowers they had the
Wow.
same issues there. So
Wow.
that's another situation where having great resources and
Mhm.
partnerships, because I could pick up the phone and call different distributors. There was a local
Exactly.
floral farm here in Virginia. They were getting out stuff as fast as they could. So having those resources and having
Hmm.
being able to reach the right people, that was huge. That was a huge thing. So yeah, having
So
your network is your net worth.
yeah.